Hello everyone, this is Eric Anderson, host of YXE Underground with a special bonus summer episode of the podcast. And I am sitting next to one of my favorite people in the whole wide world who just seconds ago viciously killed a mosquito in the park. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I mean, how do I follow up that? My name is Anita Smith. I'm the artistic and executive director of 25th Street Theatre, and I have no mercy for mosquitoes.
None at all. The reason why Anita's on the podcast is that we are days away from the Fringe Festival, which is one of my favorite times of the year. And Anita has been very gracious over the years to make time out to be on the podcast to talk about all things Fringe. And do you want to describe where we are right now? We're in the same bench as last year, actually.
I know, it's very, this might become a tradition, huh?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay, great. We are in W.E. Graham Park. A lot of people will just know it as the park behind École Victoria. It's in between 12th Street and 11th Street East, just off of Dufferin. This is our main hub of Fringe activity.
When you're at this stage where you're days away, are you excited for what's to come? Are you are you nervous? Are you what's going through your mind at this point?
It's a big to-do list. Honestly, it's just waking up in the middle of the night going, oh, I got to make sure somebody covers that. But this is actually my 5th Fringe, so I don't feel completely lost anymore. You know, in my first year, it's like you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I have a pretty good sense for the various, things that could be curveballs that could get thrown our way, which, actually calms me a little bit. And I have a lot of really good resources because we're a member of the Canadian Association of Fringe Festivals. I'm actually on the board. And so I'm in frequent contact with Fringe Festivals across the continent, which is great because, we often encounter a lot of the same challenges. So I can go to them and ask for their advice if something comes up. And we find out, what works at different festivals. They always say to steal from the best. So I steal the best ideas. And try to bring them here. So I wouldn't say I'm nervous, just more like hopeful and combined with excited because it is a really quite a beautiful thing when we finally get to see it all come together because we do work on this for an entire year and then it all comes down to 10 days.
I was flipping through the program this morning, and it looks awesome. And I think I counted 7 Saskatchewan artists, and then there's artists from all over the world that are coming. Is it nice to have that nice blend of international, but because I know you're from here in Saskatchewan, and that local connection means a lot to you. I know. Is it important to see that reflected in Fringe?
Yeah, it's integral that we have a strong local component, but it's also really important that we have the international and the national component. It's the 3 things together, I think, that make it a special event. You couldn't take away one of those parts and still have it have the same impact, I don't think. I'm very excited to be able to see all of the shows. It's really tricky, but I make it happen. And I always feel like I get something different from each one. I can't say that all the internationals are a certain way or all the locals are a certain way. There's something different from each production, regardless of where they came from. But an important component for Fringe that I think often gets overlooked is the relationships that are built between the artists, because this is a chance for our local artists to connect directly with artists who spend their lives traveling and performing, making a career out of performing. And so there's a great sort of opportunity for relationships to be built and mentorships to happen that I think is really beneficial to our local community in the long run.
You brought up a really interesting point just then, because it's a good reminder, I think, for everyone, the artists that are coming here, especially the national and international ones, this is what they do, isn't it? They travel around the world and they perform and they put on these amazing shows and live theater, but It's their job.
Yes, this is their lives,
Yeah.
their careers, which is another reason that it's so important for people to come and buy a ticket, right? Because they travel from all over the place to make this happen. They perfect their shows. And this is the same with our buskers too. Like a lot of our circle buskers, we have one group coming from Kenya. They're 5 brothers. They're acrobats.
What? I must have missed that in the program. Tell me more, Anita.
Well, I pretty much told you everything there is to say. They're an acrobat show. It's 5 brothers. They're from Kenya, and yeah, they're one of our outdoor performances. So yeah, they make a career of busking, and I just feel like it's really important that people come with that sense to the Fringe. You know, like, yes, it's cool that we have all of these things outside and that they are free, but if you can throw some money in that person's hat after they've given you some excellent entertainment, you should, because this is their job.
Yeah. How did they get here to Saskatoon? How does that work?
You better do a separate interview with
Yeah,
them.
I feel like I should.
I think they were a part of a street festival in Edmonton, and we saw them there. Like, we saw something about them there, and then we found out that they were connected to Kate Ryan, who is from here originally, but is a circus artist, and they did a show here last year.
And they were amazing.
Yes, Kate was excellent last year. Anyway, so I think Kate was like, "Hey, have you heard of these folks?" And so then we were like, actually, yes, we have. And then Kate connected us to them, and yeah, so that's how we ended up. I think they're called the Jumbo Brothers. I think that's their name.
But you talk about relationships forming and like forming between artists, and then is the Fringe world, like, is it a small world in a way in terms of like forming those connections?
Yeah, the short answer is yes. It's and the artistic community in Saskatoon is small too, like the theater community, but it just, you know, I guess it's slightly bigger in the Fringe world. But no, these artists that tour, they really get to know each other, and they often will like figure out like rooming situations together and things like that. One of the things that's kind of cool that's happened over the years is we've had several like national or international artists come more than one time, and they've developed relationships with their billets here. So now when they come back to Saskatoon, they actually don't even ask us for a billet. They'll just connect directly with the person that housed them before. And yeah, that's kind of neat, because there's like this friendship that develops between the people that live here and the touring artists as well.
That's really great too. You were mentioning the relationships that happen between local artists and the ones from, you know, around Canada and around the world. What can theater artists, and whether you're performing or doing behind the scenes, that are here in Saskatchewan and here in Saskatoon, what can they learn from other Fringe artists that maybe they can't learn in a, you know, in a classroom setting, or even like a local theater production? Like, what kind of education do they receive at a Fringe festival?
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, one of the things that always strikes me when I see international or national Fringe shows is how they maximize simple elements for theatrical purposes. So Kate, for example, last year, I believe at one point she had an umbrella, and she went to put the umbrella over her head, and out fell all of these feathers on top of her. And that's not an expensive trick. That's not, you know, it doesn't require a lot of tech. It was pretty small, pretty simple, but it had this beautiful effect on stage. So I think Fringe artists have to be able to travel light. So they have to figure out a way to make big impact with low tools. So that's one thing that I think they do an excellent job of. Also, when you're producing a Fringe show, it's not enough to have a great show. You also have to sell your show. You have to be able to figure out a way to get bums in seats, because that's how you make your money. If nobody shows up, there's no guaranteed paycheck for you. So, because that's another thing I don't know if people know often, is that the ticket price goes back to the artist. So we don't screen them, we don't pay them to come here. They come with the hopes that they're going to be able to sell tickets and make money. So I think that's one thing I really noticed with one of our groups last year out of Vancouver. they had an excellent, like, they knew how to sell their show. They knew that they had to get out and they connect with people throughout the Fringe site, really promote their shows. They went out in costume as a way to, like, get attention. It's just not enough to hang up a poster.
They're hustling.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they are hustling big time, and so they have a real business knowledge, I think, that's important for artists to have if they want to make this a career.
Thank you for explaining that. That I just find that so interesting because when I think for a lot of people it's, I'll come in and enjoy the show and not fully realize all the work that goes into it. Like you said, like producing the show, but then like getting you there in the first place. So yeah, thank you for explaining that. You mentioned business there. I do want to mention too that, or ask you about, Fringe is put on by 25th Street Theatre. It's a big year this year. Would you like to talk about a certain anniversary that's happening?
Yeah, we're 50 this year. We may not look it, but we are.
You look fantastic, Anita.
Great, thanks. I know we do. We turned 50 officially this year. So 25th Street was actually founded in 1972 by a group of young people, many of them U of S students. And then they officially incorporated in 1974. And we've been around since then. So yeah, we've got it's a big year for us. We are having a few celebrations during the Fringe Festival because the Fringe is such a huge part of who we are. I think this is our 34th Fringe this year. So, we've been around for 50 years, but 34 of them have been Fringe years. I think it's a big part of who we are. So it made sense that we celebrate this milestone at the Fringe. We've got a few different reunion type events happening. Most of them are open to the public, but we've got one where we're hoping to get some of those folks from the early days, and we're going to read some excerpts from old plays and show some photos and stuff from the old days, which is kind of cool. And one of the neat things that's happened as we planned this 50th anniversary is I hired a young person named Lauren Griffin to help coordinate all these sort of special events. And I didn't know this at the time that I hired Lauren, but her mother had actually been an actor with 25th Street.
No.
Yes, back in the day, I think it was like the 80s when she was acting with 25th Street, maybe the 90s. Anyway, and Tom Bentley Fisher, who's the former artistic director of 25th Street Theatre, sent Lauren a video of her mom performing in one of these shows. So that was pretty cool that she got to see her mom acting in a show, it's pretty neat.
That's so neat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, this has become like a multi-generational thing. Yeah. And it's really true, actually, because our technical director this year, his mom previously worked with 25th Street Theatre. Like, it's pretty neat that this company has been around long enough that we can have multiple generations of people working for us.
No kidding. And it has been a busy year for the company too, because like I think of all the productions, like The Art of French Cooking was like a huge success. And then I'm blanking on the name, but you saw my wife and I there. It was at the Broadway Theater.
Luna.
Like
yes.
that was amazing. I was in tears by the end. Like it was so powerful. But like it's been a busy year for you guys.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate. I call him my unicorn, but we had a unicorn gift us some funds this year that enabled us to produce 3 shows, which is fantastic. So we did Men Express Their Feelings, The Art of French Cooking, and Luna. And 2 of those, all of them were Saskatchewan premieres. 2 of them were world premieres. And yeah, we were able to employ, I think I've lost track, but it's got to be over... it's got to be around 100 artists through doing those shows. And we, of course, focus on local whenever we can. So yeah, it's been a really big year for us. It's been full, and it feels good that we're able to play this role in the community, that we're a part of the cultural landscape here. It's great that we produce the Fringe, but that's not how 25th Street started. 25th Street started as an organization that was trying to focus on Saskatchewan and Canadian stories. And so we're trying to remember that as we move forward, because at that time here in Saskatoon, That's not the work that was being done. Almost all of the work was British. They were British, well-known playwrights, and that's part of the reason that 25th Street has struggled over the years, is that, you know, people are more likely to go see a show with a name that they recognize than a name that they don't. Yeah, so that's been one of the hardest parts for 25th Street, as you know, we continue to push forward with this kind of work, but it's important work. You know, the most famous play to ever come out of Saskatchewan is Paper Wheat, and that wouldn't have happened without 25th Street pushing it forward.
Well done. May I bring you back to the Fringe just for a moment?
Sure.
Beyond all the amazing plays that are going to be performed, is there something that you would love to let listeners know in terms of, because there's lots of other things going on as well during the week of Fringe, or the 10 days of Fringe. Is there something you would really like to mention and shine a light on?
Oh my gosh, there's so much. There is so much that's happening here. We have the Fringe Fun Run, which is open to everybody. Katie's pretty pumped. She's bought some bubble machines so she can spray people with bubbles as they run by. It is truly a fun run. It is a 5K. You can walk. You can, push your baby in a stroller. You can do whatever you need to do. Yeah, but it is a good time. It's lots of fun, and we finish it with mini donuts. So we hope people will be able to join us, right? Mini donuts and medals. Love it. So we've got the fun run happening. We've got the Thelma Pepper Art Walk, which of course you're very familiar with. So that's going to be happening this year again, and it's led by Kelsey Ford this year, who's one of our favorite artists who comes back to the Fringe year after year. We pretty much find something for Kelsey to do. Yoga is happening in the park 4 days.
Yes, I saw that in the program. That's great.
Yeah, that's very cool. We're very happy about that. We have a Fringe beer. It's called It's called Standing Ovation. It's made by High Key Brewing. Last year we sold out of our specially brewed Fringe beer in like 2 days. So we got a bit more this year, but I wouldn't delay if you are looking to try a Standing Ovation. So we're pretty pumped about that. What else we got? Oh, carnival games for kids. Oh yeah, and the carnival games are looking pretty great. Yeah, there's just so much. There's food trucks. I think we have 80 artisans over the course of the festival. There's pop-up buskers. We have our baby busker program, which I'm so pumped about.
What is the baby busker program?
I wish it was just actual babies, like busking. It'd be amazing.
I guess you can never start them too early, can you?
I would tip that baby. For the college fund.
Yeah.
Okay, so our baby busker program is meant for young people, not actual babies, but babies are welcome, who want to try out busking, but they're not prepared to commit to 10 days of busking. So we lower the fee like in half, I think, and we give them 3 spots, and they can busk. They get their feet wet as buskers. And we had people who were baby buskers last year who have come back this year to be full buskers, which is kind of neat. But we've got, I think there's so much that you can see and do at the Fringe, and of any age, and if you want to get a break from the heat, buy a ticket, go into the theater. All of them are air conditioned. And I always tell people, love it or hate it, you're going to remember it at the Fringe, because it will push you. And you might be pushed into a place of, I absolutely love it, it was brilliant. Or you might be like, that was the worst thing I've ever seen. But you won't forget it. You won't forget it. You'll remember it. So I think it is definitely something people should come and check out. Oh, and our food trucks. Of course. How did I forget them? But yeah, it's a bump in place. You can come and spend the day or a few days. In fact, my family does.
You're right about the food trucks too. I ate several Bannock burgers last year. It was all good. Thank you for your time today. I know you're really, really busy. What people might not know too is that beyond doing all the work that you do for 25th Street Theatre and Fringe, no big deal. You directed a play with Shakespeare on the Saskatchewan this year.
I did.
You
yes,
did.
I did. Yeah. Done Undone. It's running. It's running until the end of August. I am so lucky that I get to go and play at these other places as well. That was my 3rd show that I've directed at Shakespeare on the Saskatchewan. I think it was my 10th overall of the shows that I started there 17 years ago. I'm lucky. I'm really lucky that they still let me come and play. And it's such a smart show. I really hope people will go and see it because I think it does make you think about Shakespeare in a way that maybe you haven't been for a while. Again, love it or hate it, everybody knows who Shakespeare is. And it really asks the question of why are we still doing these plays from 400 years ago? Should we still be doing these plays from 400 years ago? What are we missing by doing these plays? So what harm are we causing? I really just think it's a really important play, and it's 72 tight minutes, and it'll make you think, but it'll make you laugh quite a bit as well.
Where do you find time to do all this?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm tired.
I appreciate your honesty.
Well, I mean, if it's something that gives you energy and you love it, you got to find time for it, right? So that's just how we make it work.
If people want to learn more about the Fringe, where should they head?
Go to 25thstreettheater.org, or you can follow us on our socials. We have Instagram and Facebook, and they are very active, so you will get frequent updates if you're trying to find out what's happening that day at the Fringe. That's a good place to look.
Thank you for meeting me on this park bench today, Anita, and best of luck with all things Fringe.
Thank you, Eric.